I don't know if these have an official name, but I decided to call them barrier habits. Now, as this name implies, it's supposed to be a habit that's a barrier. That's something that stops you from doing a bad habit. Yet, if you actually manage to get past that barrier, you don't feel guilty about doing the bad habit, alright? So, in this video, I'm going to show you how to implement barrier habits, what the heck they are, if I just made them up or they actually exist, and how to use them in your life to elevate it. Alright, let's get started. So what the heck are these barrier habits, alright? So these are the habits that you place right in front of your bad habits, alright? So let's say you like to procrastinate a lot, alright? You know, it happens to the best of us. You know, things like social media, watching television, surfing the web. And I decided to call this a barrier habit because what you do is you place some sort of habit that's productive, yet you don't really, feel that dopamine rush, alright? It's something productive that you don't feel it right before you watch television, alright? And then right when you do that, the point of these barrier habits is it makes you less likely to watch television. But if you actually manage to get through this barrier, this habit, this productive habit that you're placing right in front of it, you don't feel guilty, alright? So let me give you a couple examples of what the heck I'm talking about these barrier habits, alright? So in December 2020, the things I'm procrastinating with is reading manga and playing chess, alright? I don't know why, but for some reason the dopamine just enshrouds me, alright? So what I do is I like to do something where before I can play a chess game, I have to do 10 chess puzzles. Now, I enjoy chess puzzles, but for some reason, I'm more addicted to the actual game than the puzzles itself. And you see, doing chess puzzles will help me get better at chess, but it's not something it's productive, yet it's not something I want to do. I want to play chess, not to do the chess puzzles. And that's for every single chess game I play. So what I'm doing is I'm erecting this barrier where I have to do 10 puzzles, and then after I play the chess game, I have to analyze it, which is another thing. It's good for me, yet I don't really want to do it. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a barrier both in the front and the back of this addictive behavior. So if I do play a chess game, I have to first do 10 puzzles and then analyze the game, so I don't feel as bad. And for, let's say, reading manga, right? Manga is just Japanese comics, alright? And so what I do is right before I can have a 30-minute reading session of manga, I first have to read a whole chapter of manga in Japanese, alright? Of this an easier manga. Now, for some reason, it's a lot more addicting when you can actually read it at a normal pace. But when I'm reading Japanese manga in the simple, furigana right here, it's just simple to read. But it takes me ages since I can't read Japanese well. So I'm just going through it. It takes maybe half an hour to read through a chapter. And so I have to go through this barrier that'll help me improve my Japanese, which is what I want. But at the same time, I'm not addicted or compelled to. So it's this sort of barrier, this productive barrier where I have to do it before I can actually procrastinate a little bit. And what this does is that I found out that with a couple weeks of implementing this type of habits is that you are rewarding yourself for doing something you don't kind of want to do. So you are thereby strengthening your mental mind that you are doing something productive and you are rewarding yourself. Now, what if you can apply this to your work life, alright? So let's say that you, for some reason, which is something I do, is that I surf the web, okay? I'm trying to do, a 60-minute Pomodoro timer, and you just procrastinate, alright? It happens to the best of us. You just want to surf the web. You just don't want to work, okay? And so what I like to do is if I can't do that, for some reason, I surf the web, and then I become aware of it, and I continue to surf the web for 20 more seconds. That's the key part, because once it's a habit that you start surfing the web, you actually don't realize it until you actually realize it. And it's at that point where you realize it, that if you continue it for 20 more seconds is the time I like, because 20 is a cool number, and if I don't actually follow through, then I do 30 push-ups right then and there, alright? It's not a punishment, but at the same time, it's something I don't want to do. And plus, it helps me, it helps with my physical life. So you can see how that when you put these barrier habits, both in the front and the back of whatever you're trying to do or trying to elevate your life, it puts in place where you have to be productive, otherwise you're going to have to face the wrath of these habits or these self-imposed limits that you put on yourself. Now, these don't work unless you have a certain amount of discipline. Because then you could just say you erect, like, I don't know, if you don't do this habit, then you have to do 200 push-ups. But if you don't actually follow through on the push-ups, it's actually worse for you. It's actually better to not have these barrier habits if it's too hard. Because what you're doing to yourself is that you are promising that you are going to follow through with this. And if you don't follow through, well, you just break a little bit of trust in yourself. So the next time that happens, well, it's even less unlikely that you'll follow through the next time. So when you are making these type of barrier habits, you want to make it something that's doable, yet that's not too hard at your current level. And what you could do over time is that if it for some reason that you just can't follow through, make it slightly easier. So it's supposed to be some sort of like a barrier, It's like a bubble, okay? It should be something that's easy. It shouldn't be too easy to break, but it's something that it's possible to do, okay? And it's something that's productive, something that you want in your life. So in my case, I wanted to be better at chess and Japanese. So those are the type of barriers I put. All right? Hope you found something useful with this. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe below and peace out.